Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Akim, and in this video of the How to Study series, we're going to be looking at how you can turn short-term memory into long-term memory. So firstly, I'm going to be talking about 7 of the most prioritized ways or the most authentic ways with different referrers from different books that I've read. So before we start, I've linked all these in the timestamp below, so if you don't feel like watching this long rambling video, you can just skip to whatever timestamp most interests you. And so without any further ado, let's dive right into the video. And so the first thing I want to talk about is visualization and association. So what is visualization? What is association? So this is a concept where you are starting to learn something and then you relate it to something you really know already. And that can be used in a lot of ways. So this cannot be used only in maybe turning short-term memory into long-term memory, but it can be used even when you want to understand something. So let's say you want to understand a concept, maybe in whatever subject you're doing. Maybe let's say you want to learn how to maybe pronounce a word, let's say, and then you start with the words that you know, maybe in your mother tongue, and then you relate it to the word that you want to learn. That really makes a very good fundamental and radical understanding of something you want. But then here we're dealing with how to turn short-term memory then to long-term memory. So I have only two methods here. I know obviously there are others, but I've got two of my most prioritized methods which I think will work for you. And the first one is using the journey method. So the journey method is where you get a place that you vividly know in your brain, and then as you use this place, you sort of kind of get all the things that you are relating to the place, and then start placing them in different places of that journey. And the other one is the pegging method. And the pegging method is where you get something you really know, for example, your body parts, and then using them to really memorize something. So let's say you use your body parts to memorize a series of words that are given to you, whatever they are, but then you have to memorize them. You can use different parts of your body because you won't forget the parts of your body. And then as you start relating, all these words to the different parts of your body. So let's say maybe you have to memorize a cup. You can relate a cup to maybe something like maybe earrings that are in form of a cup, something like that. And that kind of association, I really like it. And the next one is explanation. So this is one of the best, actually it's the best of all the methods of turning short-term memory into long-term memory. So whenever you explain something to someone, you learn this thing 2 times. And the logic behind this is that whenever you explain to something to someone, like it sort of fills all the gaps in your knowledge. So everything you want to learn, or anything that is exposed to you that is in your short-term memory, you want to be turning it into your own words, and then after that you make sure that you maybe explain it to someone, or you just maybe explain to the void. The other way is reviewing what you are studying. So reviewing is sometimes called spaced repetition, whatever you want to call it. But actually, reviewing is when you are having clarity of the things that you are really studying. And all this comes down to the forgetting curve. So the forgetting curve is this curve that shows that we all forget the things that we learn over time. And it shows that 80% of the things that we learn are forgotten a day before we even review them. So if you learn something maybe from a lecture and you review it a day after you've learned it, you have forgotten 80% of that thing that you've learned. And so maybe if you go out of a lecture, make sure you review that thing you've learned or the topic you've learned. One is involving a lot of senses into whatever you are learning. So when you involve the different senses in whatever you're learning, you just involve them deeply. Like this really attaches a lot of memory into what is it that you're learning. And let's say you want to learn maybe how an onion looks like, or the anatomy, whatever, of an onion, and you just go out there and get an onion and start cutting it, and then learning maybe the foliage, leaves, the adventitious roots, the stem, maybe the buds, whatever, all the kind of stuff. And then you involve a lot of touch, you involve a lot of smell. Like this really deeply rooted into your emotions, and actually emotions are one of the things that really prioritize memory. And the other one is order. So order is one of the things that really confirms things in our brain, because our brains are very good at realizing sequences and patterns. So whenever you put something in order, like your brain can easily recognize it and then remember it easily. And some people call it categorization of things. So you can categorize the things maybe in size, maybe in shapes, everything that really makes you order up something, you can really do it. And I'm just gonna give you a simple exercise here. Like I'm gonna get these numbers over here and show them to you as I'm doing right now, and then these numbers over here. And I'm going to remove them. So which of those two sequences of numbers was easier to really cope with? So I think basically it was the last group of numbers, because your brain can easily realize the pattern and can easily realize the sequence and make meaning out of that. And so ordering something according to their shapes, according to their color, can be a very, very good thing to turn short-term memory into long-term memory. And the other one is the use of mnemonics. So the use of mnemonics, some people put it under association and visualization, but actually I wanted to really make it an independent thing of itself, because using mnemonics is something that is really used in a lot of ways. And mnemonics, for example, like a mnemonic we used to use in the geography that I used to like most, which was the mnemonic of Holmes. And this was the mnemonic of the Great Lakes of America. I don't know, I never used to like geography, but it was a very nice mnemonic that I still remember up to this time. So this is kind of like a very good way of showing that mnemonics like relate to some things that we really remember and we really know and we really like. So making mnemonics out of the things that you're learning can help you to turn them into long-term memory and help you to make or stronger brain connections with them. And the last one I want to talk about here is using acronyms when you are studying. So acronym are kind of like rhyming sentence phrases, of something you are trying to learn. So let's say you are learning maybe the different planets. You can use the mnemonic of my very educated mom just served us noodles. And this is kind of like a mnemonic that I learned way, way back, but then I still remember. I'm not a student of physics or anything like that, but actually I still remember the mnemonics. So I kind of try to pick out the mnemonics that I don't use on a daily basis. You can say, okay, maybe he's a pharmacy student or he's a medical student, that's why he remembers those. No, I'm using the mnemonics that I really learned years then, but then I still remember now. So this is a very good way of creating strong connections in your brain, because sentences that really maybe funny or they bring something to your emotions are really so vividly memorable. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you got something from it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.